Hello and welcome to this series. I'm Tyler Coffin, and throughout these videos we'll be seeing everything there is to see within Arturia's expanded recreation of Casio's line of digital synthesizers from the 80s, the CZ-V. Casio's CZ series of synthesizers, including synths like the CZ1 or CZ1000 among others, was meant to provide low-cost synthesizers built with digital technologies of the 80s, when synth sounds exploded to new heights thanks to other digital synthesizers like Yamaha's DX7 and its successors. However, unlike the digital frequency modulation or FM synthesis of the DX synthesizers, the CZ synths employed Casio's own form of digital synthesis, phase distortion synthesis, which has several similarities technically to FM synthesis and gives sort of similar sounds. Yet it is distinct in how it works, and thus it has its own unique character, which is very versatile in its own way and a lot of fun to deal with, but we will get into that later, so we don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves yet. But expanding on what the CZ synths had done in the past, Arturia now also gives us additional possibilities within the playground of phase distortion synthesis, so we can use the systems that defined an era with new possibilities and workflow that is more intuitive to today's standards and can give a fantastic new or classic sound with ease of use and plenty of enjoyment along the way. So a couple of things before we really kick things off. Most everything I'll be doing will be in the standalone mode of the CZ-V, where you can just deal with everything as its own application, but of course this can be run as a VST, AU, or AAX plugin for whatever DAW you may be using. And we may hop over into a DAW. This is FL Studio, but of course everything will apply wherever else as well. But nothing too out of the ordinary in that sense. And you can also go over to make sure all your audio settings and MIDI settings are what you need them to be. Get your keyboard set up. You'll be able to set the tempo, and that will relate to some of the tempo-based settings that we'll get into as we move forward. For audio settings, you'll need to deal with your drivers however they are in your computer. Or if you're running it through a DAW, all of this stuff will be taken care of in the DAW settings. And I'm also going to scale up the window here so we can see it a little bit better. We'll go to 90. Maybe we'll go to 100. We'll see what works out better. But basically, whatever works for your screen, you can make it as large or as small as you need the window to be. But now that we have a little bit of intro, we're ready to dive into some more info here. And we're going to get our feet wet with this phase distortion synthesis in the next video, so I will see you then.